Hello, I figured I'd go ahead and just show you everything I got from Azure Standard this time around. It was a pretty small order, so I'm just showing you everything little by little and then talking about it. So the first thing I got was the 25 pound bag of pure cane sugar. We love that stuff, and I put it in a 5-gallon bucket to keep it, and then a 25-pound bag of unbleached all-purpose flour. We go through plenty of that as well. And then this is a catalog. Everybody gets one as long as they don't run out with your order. You don't have to ask for one or anything like that. It just comes with your order. And then I got 3 things of the Desert Essence shampoo, and it's like at $22 or something for all 3 of them together. So one thing about did you hear my stomach growl? One thing about Azure Standard is that typically, it will change, but typically whenever you buy more, like a higher amount of things, it's cheaper per ounce or per pound, that kind of thing. The OxyClean type stuff, the oxygen cleaner powder, I haven't tried that kind, but I have tried the brand that they carry called Country Save, and we love it. I just wanted to try something else just in case they're sold out of one or the other. This is the variety produce box that I get. I always love getting this. It's definitely a treat. Those were they weren't blood oranges. Those were grapefruits. And then what you didn't see all of was I got 3 white sweet potatoes, and those were delicious. Also, the apples were perfect. And the zucchini was beautiful. But anyway, the 2 things that I ordered that I did not get was I ordered laundry detergent. They were out of it, so they didn't ship it, and I didn't pick an alternative. And then they were out of cocoa powder of all the sizes. I typically get a 5-pound bag of cocoa powder. They were out of that, so I added like 1-pound bags, and they sold out of that by the time it was time for my drop. So unfortunately I didn't get those, and we didn't eat the parsnips. I fed them to the deer. I know that might seem wasteful, but I am not a big fan of parsnips, and I took a gamble on whether or not we would get them again, and we did. I haven't got them in every fruit and veggie box that I've gotten, but all of these fruits and vegetables in the variety box are organic and from local farmers, that kind of thing. So it's just a really fun surprise for us to get, and I really enjoy it. The peppers were beautiful. All right, and then I'm going to take you around the house in a minute to tackle some things that we need to get done. So I just got back from the gym. I'm gonna eat some lunch and then shower. This morning I made some baby lima beans that have been soaking overnight, and then really they soaked all yesterday. And then I cut up some ham, like pre-sliced ham, and threw it in the crock pot. I don't like this dressing. This is just sitting out because I need to pass it along to somebody else. I've got some watermelon here that's very juicy and very good, and I'm probably going to finish this off. And then I've got cucumbers sitting out because I'll probably put that in my tuna salad. My tuna salad I usually make pretty high protein. I add like Greek yogurt and stuff to it, so and I flavor it with dill pickles. So I figured a cucumber would taste pretty good in it. This is the produce that I haven't used yet from our Azure order. By the way, I had a mango, and I'm not a mango person. It was delicious, okay? The best mango I've ever had. It tasted more like a peach, and I love peaches. So, and I ate a whole zucchini 2 nights ago. So, this poor pepper is about to die, though. I think I can save part of it. And the other 2 mangoes aren't as soft as that one, so I'm gonna give those some time. Just moving the crap out of the way, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make myself some lunch. This is honestly probably the worst my living room has looked in a very long time. But my husband was so sweetly making me a new sewing table. Before I was using my nightstand, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a little bit. And I couldn't put my knees under my nightstand, so I was like leaning over to sew, and like it was making my back hurt. And he wanted some sewing projects done, and then I was also working on some like quilts for some babies, and anyway, it just wasn't working out. So he asked me to make him something, and I did. It was like some sort of tunic thing, costuming thing, anyway, for an event that we were going to, but I didn't have anywhere to sew, and he wasn't quite done with the finish on the table. So I brought out this like plastic folding table, put it in the living room, and I was sewing in the living room. So that's why it looks this awful. And then this was also, I think, right before Vacation Bible School week, and for us that is a very busy time or for me it's a very busy time because I help a lot with it, with the kids, with teaching, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm just moving this table back into our guest bedroom where it was before. I had this set up kind of like as a cutting table so that I can have my sewing machine on one table, and then my cutting mat and sewing notions and stuff over here, and that way I don't have to like move my sewing machine every time I want to cut fabric and that sort of thing. This is my new sewing setup. He finished the table. So this is the chair that my grandmother-in-law put together. She just like reupholstered it and stuff like that. And then my sister-in-law had it. She didn't want it anymore, so I inherited it. And it works great for now. It kind of swivels. And then this is the lovely table that my husband made me. I believe it has, oh gosh, what is it? Oak wood legs. And then the only wood that we could find at Lowe's, like all the pieces that we need, didn't match the kind of wood it was. So that's why he chose to paint the top. And if you're curious, he painted the top with chalk paint and then did like a furniture wax over it. So that's what makes it kind of glossy. And I think I have the paint sample somewhere. Hold on. Okay. The color is Deep River Green. And we just asked them to color a small thing of chalk paint that color, and it's by Valspar. So if you want to know, that's what we did. And that table is the perfect size for all of my sewing needs for right now. So, and it's really as big of a table I can fit anyway in my house. This is the nightstand I was telling you about that I was using as a sewing table that I couldn't fit my legs under, so it wasn't comfortable to use for sewing. I was using it as a drop zone for like, of course I had to move it out of the guest room to put the new table that my husband made me in there for sewing, and then I didn't really have time to move it anywhere else. And then I had this nightstand, so I wanted to move the pretty nightstand in here beside my bed instead of the shelf, but I didn't have time to do it yet. So it was just like sitting there by our dinner table, which also has like miniatures, models, whatever, that my husband's been painting with friends. So as you can see, it's a disaster zone, and all the junk that was on top of it, other than the bottle of ibuprofen, was the stuff I was getting ready for Vacation Bible School with. So like I had a bubble machine on there. By the way, the bubble machine's from Target, and it is great. The kids had a blast with it. And then like snacks and stuff like that, and lessons and crafts were just consuming that table. So I tried to move all that stuff off, and I'm proud to say today, since then, now that Vacation Bible School is over and everything, I have all of that gathered, and it's no longer taking over the couch, if you're curious or worried about it. This is a touch lamp I got like 5 years ago or something. We love them. I think it was like $30, which lamps are expensive anyway, so I feel like that's not a bad deal for a touch lamp. Came from Amazon. It is so convenient because I don't have to search for like the little knob to twist, to turn the lamp on and off. So I don't know if they still sell it, but I'm sure they sell something similar. I'm just wiping up the dust off of the baseboards with a damp cloth. We do live in a mobile home, and it's old, so it gets way more dust. We also live out in the country, so that's just part of living out here and living this way. So I went ahead and vacuumed off the outside of my air purifier because that little one doesn't have a filter, and I also took the time to vacuum off the bigger air purifier that's in the corner by the little teal colored set of drawers or whatever. It does have a HEPA filter in it, but the outside gets really gross looking and dusty, so I went ahead and vacuumed that off as well. The shelf that was in here, I moved out into the kitchen while I was doing this, and I took it to Goodwill to donate it over the weekend, so we don't have that anymore. I think that's everything. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'm so glad that I got a ton of stuff done, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.